It's 11:42 p.m. You've had an exhausting day. You're lying in bed, scrolling through your phone, and somehow, without really deciding to, you're looking at a $140 pair of noise-canceling headphones, or a jacket you don't need, or a high-tech kitchen gadget you'll use twice. Your rational brain knows you shouldn't buy it. You set a budget last Sunday. You promised yourself you were saving for a home down payment, a retirement fund, or just a financial safety net. But in a fraction of a second, a wave of justification washes over your consciousness. I worked hard this week. I deserve this. Then, 12 hours later, the box arrives on your doorstep. And instead of pure joy, you feel a hollow, nagging sensation in the pit of your stomach. Here is the uncomfortable truth. Emotional spending is not a discipline problem. It is a neurochemical trap. Modern consumer culture tells you that impulse buying is a personal flaw, a lack of willpower. But neuroscientists and behavioral economists have discovered that your brain is reacting to precise cognitive vulnerabilities engineered by the modern economy. Today, we're going to uncover the exact neurological feedback loop that drives emotional spending, and more importantly, how to rewire it permanently. To stop emotional spending, you have to understand what actually happens inside your skull when you shop. Most people believe that buying something provides a hit of dopamine because of the reward, the pleasure of owning the object. But groundbreaking research by neuroscientists like Wolfram Schultz proved something counterintuitive. Dopamine is not the molecule of pleasure. It is the molecule of anticipation. When you browse an online store or wander through a retail outlet, your brain's ventral tegmental area fires off dopamine, not when you use the item, but when you desire it. The peak neurochemical high doesn't occur when you open the box. It peaks the exact microsecond before you click Place Order. Think about what that means. The brain rewards the chase, not the catch. Once the transaction goes through, dopamine levels crash back to baseline or below it. This is why you feel that sudden cold flash of buyer's remorse within minutes of making an emotional purchase. You were never addicted to the product. You were addicted to the anticipation of relief. In a famous fMRI study conducted by researchers at Carnegie Mellon, Stanford, and MIT, scientists placed shoppers inside functional MRI scanners while displaying products and their prices. When participants were shown a product they liked, the brain's pleasure center, the nucleus accumbens, lit up. But when the researchers showed them an overpriced price tag, something remarkable happened. The insula activated. The insula is the exact same region of the brain that processes physical pain, like touching a hot stove or stubbing your toe. In behavioral economics, this is known as the pain of paying. Historically, handing over physical paper money triggered this real physical distress signal in the brain, keeping our spending instincts balanced. Now, look at what modern fintech has done. Credit cards, Apple Pay, buy now, pay later services, and Amazon's one-click checkout were explicitly designed to silence the insula. By decoupling the pleasure of receiving an item from the physical pain of parting with cash, digital commerce completely bypasses your brain's natural emergency brake. When you add emotional stress, burnout, or decision fatigue to the mix, your prefrontal cortex, the seat of executive function and impulse control, goes offline. You aren't making a conscious financial choice. You're experiencing a neurochemical hijack. Now that we know the neuroscience behind why our brains crave the purchase, let's look at how the real world exploits these vulnerabilities. Emotional spending doesn't happen in a vacuum. It happens at the intersection of internal psychological triggers and externally engineered commercial environments. Behavioral economists categorize the primary emotional drivers of impulse buying into three distinct psychological archetypes. When you've had a day where you felt powerless, maybe your manager criticized your project, or a deal fell through, your self-esteem takes a direct hit. In psychology, this is known as self-discrepancy theory, when the gap between who you are and who you want to be widens due to external frustration buying something symbolic, a luxury watch, high-end fitness gear, a premium workstation upgrade, signals to your brain that you are still in control. It's not a purchase. It's a quick fix identity patch. This is the single most common emotional justification. After working a grueling 60-hour week or completing a hard task, your brain utilizes a cognitive bias called moral licensing. Because you performed a good or hard action, your brain grants itself permission to indulge in a bad or irresponsible action. The phrase, "I worked so hard this week, I deserve this $200 jacket," isn't logic. It's your ego granting a temporary waiver from your long-term goals. Here's a startling stat. A significant portion of online shopping occurs between 9 p.m. and midnight, not because people need products, but because they are experiencing a low dopamine state. Boredom is neurologically uncomfortable. Swiping through items provides an endless stream of novel microstimuli. You aren't shopping for goods. You're shopping for stimulation. If it feels like your willpower keeps losing this battle, that's because you aren't just fighting yourself. You are fighting teams of software engineers, behavioral designers, and data scientists whose entire job is to remove every shred of friction between your emotion and your wallet. Notice how modern online shopping sites are designed. Artificial scarcity and urgency. Only 2 items left in stock. Or a glowing red countdown timer. Sale ends in 11 minutes, 42 seconds. This triggers FOMO, fear of missing out, and forces your brain to swap long-term rational analysis for short-term panic decision-making. Frictionless payment architecture, stored credit card numbers, Apple Pay, touch integration, and one-click buying eliminate the thinking gap. Buy now, pay later illusion. Services like Klarna or Affirm break a $400 charge into 4 easy payments of $100. By changing the anchor number from 400 to 100, they dramatically reduce the Insula's pain of paying activation. When emotional exhaustion meets hyper-optimized retail design, relying on raw willpower is like trying to stop a waterfall with a paper towel. You don't need more self-discipline. You need a structural strategy. To eliminate emotional spending permanently, we don't try to change how you feel in the heat of the moment. Instead, we alter the architecture of the decision itself. Here are 3 battle-tested behavioral economic strategies you can implement today. If speed is the enemy of reason, friction is the ultimate guardian of your bank account. Unsave your payment info. Delete your credit card details from autofill in Safari, Chrome, Amazon, and food delivery apps. Forcing yourself to physically walk across the room, grab your wallet, and type in a 16-digit card number forces your prefrontal cortex back online. Implement the 72-hour rule. When you feel the overwhelming urge to buy a non-essential item, place it in your cart, but enact a mandatory 72-hour cooling-off period. Remember, your brain wanted the anticipation hit of dopamine. Adding it to the cart gives you 80% of that neurochemical rise without taking your money. In 72 hours, when the dopamine wave subsides, over 70% of the time, you'll look at that cart and realize you don't even want the item anymore. In his classic book, Your Money or Your Life, Vicki Robin introduced a concept that changes how you calculate value. Money isn't currency, it is life energy you traded time to obtain. Before making an emotional impulse purchase, calculate your true net hourly wage. That's your salary minus taxes, commuting costs, work clothing, and work-related expenses. If your true net hourly wage is $20 an hour and you're about to spend $200 on an impulse purchase, don't ask, "Is this item worth $200? Ask, "Is this item worth 10 full hours of sitting at my desk, taking calls, and dealing with stress?" Framing spending in terms of non-refundable hours of your life radically changes the emotional calculation. You cannot eliminate a neurochemical drive without replacing it. If you try to stop emotional spending without addressing the underlying emotional void, the pressure will build until you snap. When you feel the emotional urge to spend, identify the root state. If it's stress, engage in high-intensity exercise for 10 minutes or take a cold plunge or shower. This releases instant endorphins and norepinephrine without costing a dime. If it's boredom, engage in a high-engagement tactile activity, gaming, playing an instrument, or cooking a complex recipe. If it's loneliness or devaluation, call a friend or go to a public space like a park or library. Satisfy the brain's craving for reward through physical and psychological outlets, not financial ones. At the end of the day, money is one of the most powerful tools ever invented. It provides shelter, security, freedom, and the ability to buy back your time. But when we use money as a substitute for emotional regulation, when we try to heal stress, boredom, or self-doubt with a credit card swipe, we turn a tool for freedom into a mechanism of bondage. The goal isn't to live a life of extreme deprivation or never buy nice things again. The goal is intentionality. It's ensuring that every dollar you spend is alignment with your actual values, not a temporary neurochemical fix engineered by a corporate algorithm. Next time you find yourself staring at a screen at 11:42 p.m. with your thumb hovering over that buy button, stop, take a deep breath, recognize the dopamine trap for what it is. And remember, true financial freedom doesn't come from buying whatever you want. It comes from no longer needing to buy things to feel whole. If this breakdown helped you see your spending habits in a new light, hit that like button and subscribe to Money Mindshift. I want to hear from you in the comments below. What is your single biggest emotional spending trigger? Is it stress, boredom, or the I earned this feeling? Let's start a conversation down there. Thank you for watching, and as always, mind your mindset, and the money will follow. See you in the next video.